Imagine this: you're drowning in tasks, overwhelmed by endless to-do lists, and yet, it feels like nothing truly significant gets done. What if I told you that the secret to success isn't doing everything, but doing the right things? This is the 80-20 rule, and today, I'll show you how it can transform your life. Let me tell you a quick story. Back in the late 1800s, an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto made an astonishing discovery. He noticed that 80% of Italy's wealth was owned by just 20% of the population. He later realized that this imbalance exists almost everywhere, in nature, business, and even your daily life. The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto Principle, is simple yet profound. It means that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. For example, in a garden, 20% of the pea pods produce 80% of the peas. In business, 20% of customers generate 80% of profits. And in your life, 20% of what you do likely drives 80% of your success. Here's the hard truth: most of us spend our days stuck in the 80%, tasks that are time-consuming but don't really move the needle. Imagine if you could reclaim all that wasted time and energy to focus on the few things that truly matter. How different would your life look? Let me break this down with some real-world examples. Think about your wardrobe. How often do you really wear every piece of clothing you own? Probably just 20% of it, right? Or consider your phone. How many apps do you actually use daily? Again, it's likely just a small fraction. Now, let's talk about work. Most people spend their time answering emails, attending unnecessary meetings, or working on low-priority tasks. But what if you focused solely on the 20% of activities that bring the most value, like brainstorming new ideas, building meaningful relationships, or solving critical problems? You'd accomplish more in a day than most people do in a week. Here's the twist: knowing your 20% isn't the hard part. The challenge is having the courage to let go of the 80%, the things that feel urgent but aren't important. It's not easy to say no, but that's where the magic happens. Here's a step-by-step guide to applying the 80-20 rule. Number 1. Identify your 20%. Make a list of all your activities, whether it's work, personal life, or even hobbies. Which ones have the biggest impact? Number 2. Eliminate or delegate the 80%. Ask yourself, what can I stop doing, automate, or hand off to someone else? Number 3. Double down on your 20%. Invest more time, energy, and focus into these high-impact areas. For example, if you're a student, your 20% might be studying smart instead of studying more, focusing on understanding concepts rather than memorizing everything. Close your eyes and imagine this: you've freed up hours in your day. You're no longer rushing from task to task, and instead, you're making real progress on what truly matters. How much lighter, happier, and more successful would you feel? Take a look at successful people. Warren Buffett spends most of his time reading and thinking, not rushing through countless meetings. Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, built an empire by focusing on high-leverage tasks. They've mastered the 80-20 rule, and so can you. But beware of these pitfalls. Number 1. Getting stuck in the busy trap. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. Number 2. Overcomplicating the rule. Keep it simple. Don't waste time overanalyzing your 20%. Number 3. Neglecting balance. While the rule is powerful, don't ignore the 80% that still matters for personal relationships or self-care. And here's something you might not expect: the 80-20 rule isn't just for productivity. It can improve your relationships, health, and even happiness. Spend 20% of your time with the people who truly uplift you, and you'll feel 80% more fulfilled. So here's my challenge: take 10 minutes today to analyze your life. Identify one 20% activity that has the most impact and one 80% activity you can eliminate. Then, take action. Remember, success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. The 80-20 rule isn't just a principle, it's a mindset. Start living it today, and you'll achieve more than you ever thought possible. So, are you ready to work smarter, not harder?